Hi Aquarius, this is your May 2024 reading, Taurus season reading, post-eclipse reading. And we have just surpassed the Taurus new moon as well, which is the energy is very refreshing, and now we're in the midst of another transit. You know, how nice. And you may be feeling Pluto has gone retrograde in your sign. So, I don't know about you, but I've been thinking, healing, feeling, thinking, questioning, wondering, all these different things. And I'm just wondering if you are in the same boat as me. And I would wonder what it is that even just a few months in Pluto has come up. And I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out next. One thing that is clear is that you are perhaps processing, acknowledging, even feeling through some things, learning about yourself, because you know, emotions really do teach us a lot, and I think are the connection to our healing, and in my opinion, our deepest healing. So for those of you in this place, be careful with everyone, be careful with yourself, because for some of you, you may find yourself in this dichotomy of not have, like, you know, you're getting rest and you're, you know, doing your internal, so it doesn't seem like you're doing a lot, but yet there's not enough energy for you to go around perhaps as much as you had been. This season will perhaps make it very clear where your boundaries lie, where the ones that you haven't laid out very clearly for yourself and for others. You may find yourself hyper-focused even, and it may, at some point you may feel like you do need to give everything a rest. Perhaps surrender, because that's where you disarm. I was reminded of disarming the armor. That's where you can process and feel. And it's possible that you've really created that space for yourself at this time, or you've created this space for yourself, or you've been in that mode of wanting to, you know, the thought of and the concept of being your own sanctuary has come to mind a lot. And while you are going through this process with Pluto, where, you know, a lot is transforming, especially for you Aquarius risings, but whatever the place is in your chart where there is Aquarius, right? For Aquarius suns as well, you know, there's been something aspecting you. And I think that's why I've been thinking about you throughout the course of doing these readings, and I was like, when am I gonna, and I just feel like I needed some time, because I think that's what you need, you know, ruled by Saturn time, but like also contemporarily ruled by Uranus, which is doing some big things right now, you and Taurus. So what I'm finding is you're similar. There's some signs that have these really interesting similarities in your fixed signs, right? But you're also very focused on the process, what it looks like, what you like, knowing a little bit about it so you can prepare yourself, right? You're very prepared creatures for yourself in some way, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. You have something that whenever you go into something, you know that you're going to need to expend more of something and less of another. you could also be battling two sides of yourself that, or even a person, right? This could be about how you need space, and maybe you feel, for some of you, unfortunately, guilt, perhaps defensiveness, or needing to defend yourself. And if this person, for some reason, I get the feeling that there's silent treatment, but if this person is, then it's the perfect time to process these feelings. It's the Temperance says, okay, well, what are you going to do with this, right? If you can't address this person, if they can't be mutual with you, and where are they showing where you can't be that with yourself, perhaps, like if we're going to take it really there, you know, the whole time, where is it that you are having a hard time seeing and sensing this in your life? But if you need space, if you need time, there's a good way. There's also, maybe this is teaching you how to communicate that with, if this is a specific person. Now, if this is the part of yourself that really wants to go ahead and create and do, there will be time for that. There is time for that. It's happening. However, if you're finding yourself feeling you have to force yourself, or there's this thing that you learn if you're a new artist or really learning about your process, and as I am always, you know, there's this pressure you could be feeling, and that could be Pluto too, this pressure. And it's weird because Temperance has come up a lot, and I'm like, why? But the full moon is coming up, and maybe it's a sign, right? Also, it's this broadened view of what you're even feeling, maybe finding some kind of, weirdly enough, even saying to you, some distance, right? Like, what are the attachments to this? What is it that maybe is this what's stopping you from moving forward with a creative avenue? Is it your emotions? Could you be doing too much labor, physical labor? Could you be doing too much? And maybe this is the time in life where it's showing you, you know, because I have found, and I do believe this, you know, could be very true, that maybe you're doing too much, again, in one way and not enough in another way. So like we have this emotional thing going on, and maybe that's what's really doing and causing your body to feel like you're carrying so much. You are, right? There's a lot to think about and sift through during this Pluto retrograde, but you're like, surrender. Yeah, right? What happens if you did? What happens if you are? Well, maybe that pressure of like, but I should be here, I should be doing this, or I've been doing it like this for so long, or I've been just, you know, I have too much, I'm full, you know, like my schedule is full, my plate is full, my brain is full. And maybe it's time to understand that if this is what's causing some tension in your life, and you're very clear and aware, Taurus season is going to have you make some decisions about what responsibilities are necessary, what emotional responsibilities have kept you from your own well-being, from your own life, from your own, the word I'm looking for, you saw that blank look, is growth. The reason why you can't see past this is because there's too much in the way. From 10 to 5 to 5 to Queen of Pentacles. All the queens are out. Something to be said here. We'll go over a few other things. I forgot to mention, all information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version to this reading, which we will get into, and we'll clarify all of these queens. For sure, we'll get more in depth into your creative process, and we'll talk more about that. But this is, I really want to get to this. This is very, very beautiful reading, and not what I, you know, it always is. It's always perfect. Doesn't matter. What it is that when you take all of this stuff away, or these things that you have to do away, or the things in your mind that you haven't even done physically yet, but you're just thinking, and it's already stressing out your physical body, a practice that you can do is, first, what is emotionally on your plate that you just can't carry anymore, that you've done enough for, but there's something else that is calling you. Now is that time to be brave about your emotions. right? This can be you not knowing, you know, what the other person's gonna feel or what the other end of the situation is gonna feel, but you just need to leave behind. You know, recently myself, I had to tell someone that their emotions are not my responsibility. Like, as an adult, that's wild. But some people are not clearly depicted in your relationship with them and not have given boundaries like that in their life. And maybe this is the first time in your life you're giving yourself permission, and you should honor that. What comes up though, right? You go to visualize something, and funnily enough, I've talked about this a few times, but you go to visualize something and all this other stuff is getting in the way. And what's really is that's all just a smoke screen for the grievance. The grievance of what happens when you are in full realization of yourself, or in the fullest realization of self you could be in at this time. And what's important to you, what the focus is, what you have been focusing on. There's a reason why it was stuck, and finally you reach a point, and it's possible that this retrograde is helping you retroactively focus on the future, right? Whatever is important, truly important, that needs to come up is coming up to be taken a look at. And it looks like you're really understanding the process. You know, you're understanding or doing your best to. It's possible you have some reflection about it, but it looks like you, this month, it's not necessarily that you have your head down and focus, but you have your head, you know, level and focus, right? Maybe you're not necessarily dreaming right away, but you get to the dream, and then what stops you, whatever's been blocking you. And maybe you realize it's a few things or a few people that have been a part of what has been your lesson or your way, and you're learning, your maybe even a block, as you know, for lack of a better word, what's been blocking you from seeing what you have, seeing what you already have. Not only, I'm not just talking physically, monetarily, but what you have within you, right? What skills you have, what you've acquired, what you've learned, how you've grown, how you see yourself, right? This is also, you know, affecting how you can be seeing yourself at this time, right? And how this has been a controlled sense of view of yourself, from yourself and from others. And the more that you begin to acknowledge and see clearer, you know, anything that's been iffy up until this point or too heavy, like when something is just like, why is this so exhausting, right? What is happening here? Well, what's happening is that you're acknowledging things that for maybe years, months, ever, you're seeing what you've been putting in, whether it's on your physical plate or in your mind, that's been stopping you from processing some things. But the truth is that it's just a moment that you're having with yourself, right? There's this moment that you're having with yourself that is really important to your internal growth, your well-being. You know, what's important to you, what is necessary. And if this is about you, you know, having these moments with yourself where you're going back and forth and you're looking for direction, this is the direction. Sometimes we go external, look for direction, but that takes us back internal. Whatever we end up seeking is seeking us, and it's your then you find yourself wondering, why is this coming up? You know, this memory, this moment, this feeling, right? It's because you have the space and you've created the space and you've asked for it. So life is going to give you the opportunity, which I like to see them as opportunities, even if not at first doesn't feel like one, of what's been stopping the movement forward. And it's a very clear instruction here. It's a very clear reading, which I love about you guys so much, is that this change, this fixed change, is at first seems like it's physically taxing, but eventually it becomes emotionally, and that's the key. That's the key of moving forward with this time, or learn what you need to learn about this time, is that the burden doesn't fall on you and your mind all the time, right? Or your capacity to care, but also at a distance, right? You're bringing yourself, this Pluto is bringing you even deeper with yourself, with these patterns which shown up for you, what is going to transpire in the next years to come, and how trusting this, and maybe it's this one thing that you begin to focus on, and trusting this allows this whole other depiction or story to develop. That is your future. Seeing what is necessary, feeling what is necessary in order to really see yourself, Aquarius. In order to feel into this time. Not that you didn't know this, but now it's sinking in a deeper level that is not just what you do and how you do it. It's who you are and how you move. Yeah. We're going to end it there. I'm going to keep it a little shorter and sweeter for you guys. I'm really excited to get into this next part. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're doing well. I hope you take care of yourself. Especially, you may need some time this month. This may be more of a time where you may need to pull back a little bit in some ways and allow the surrender to unfold and the adventure to take place. The adventure too, you'll see it too. It's like a pathway. Where the sky changes, but ultimately the sun will shine. Okay? We'll see you next month. All information is below. We'll see you there.